All right, so this week we're going to dive into something that, well, to be honest, it kind of blew my mind when I first saw it.
Yeah, this is a big one.
It really is. Talk about ambitious ideas.
Definitely ambitious.
Yeah, forget your usual commute. We're talking about potentially reshaping how entire continents connect. A
Exactly.
subsea tunnel linking Europe and Africa.
It's kind of a monumental proposal, but what I find most interesting is that it's not just a pie in the sky idea, it's actually being seriously considered by some pretty major players.
Yeah, maybe we'll get into that.
We're talking about the UK, France, Norway, Spain, and Morocco. All of them are exploring the feasibility of a direct rail link
Under the sea.
beneath the Strait of Gibraltar.
Yeah. So imagine, just picture this for a second. You could hop on a train, let's say in London,
Right.
go through the channel, through France, speed across Spain, and then end up in Morocco
Yeah.
without ever setting foot on a plane or a ferry.
Yeah, just a seamless train journey.
It's wild. And just think about the possibilities for tourism and travel, like the doors this could open for exploring both continents.
Absolutely. It would have a huge impact on tourism, I think, making it so much easier and more appealing to visit both continents. And I think, it could really boost cultural exchange as well.
And it's not just talk, we're seeing insights from experts who are actually working on this, like Bill Becker. He's a construction expert at Avant Concrete Construction. And,
He seems pretty optimistic.
well, I mean, he acknowledges the massive technical hurdles,
Of course.
but he also confirms that engineers are taking this idea very seriously, which I think speaks volumes about just how ambitious this project truly is.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of those practical details.
Okay, let's get into it.
The most likely route we're seeing, based on everything we've looked at, seems to be across the Strait of Gibraltar.
Okay, between Spain and Morocco.
Right, exactly. And at its narrowest point, it's about 8.7 miles.
8.7 miles, that doesn't sound too crazy. I mean, we have tunnels longer than that already.
Well, that's true, but there's a big difference here.
Okay, what's the catch?
It's the depth.
The depth. Ah, under the water.
Yeah, the Strait of Gibraltar is much, much deeper than, say, the English Channel.
Okay, so how deep are we talking?
In some areas, it goes down over 3,000 feet.
Wow, 3,000 feet.
Yeah, I mean, to give you some perspective, that's like stacking the Eiffel Tower on top of itself twice.
Really?
Yeah, and you still wouldn't reach the bottom, so it's significantly deeper than the Channel Tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, the channel is an incredible feat of engineering,
Like,
but
that's a
this...
whole other level.
Yeah. So, I mean, tackling that kind of underwater environment is not just digging a longer tunnel, it's a whole different ballgame.
Exactly.
You've got immense pressure down there, complex geological conditions, all sorts of challenges that engineers would have to figure out.
Yeah, and with those extreme conditions, obviously, the timeline for a project like this is going to be pretty extensive.
It's not going to happen overnight.
No, definitely not. I mean, these kind of mega projects, they take time.
Yeah, they were talking about the Channel Tunnel. It took 4 years of just planning before construction even started.
Yeah, and that was back in 1985.
And this is way more complex.
I mean, you're probably looking at a similar timeline, if not longer, so completion could be decades away.
Decades. Wow. So maybe our grandkids will be the ones riding this train.
Possibly, but even though the actual tunneling might be years down the line, the initial phases like the planning, the research, developing the technology to handle those depths, that could all start much sooner.
Yeah, that makes sense. Get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's talk about the elephant in the room, or maybe I should say the giant drill bit in the seabed, the cost.
Ah, yes, the cost.
Bill Benker, our expert,
Uh,
he estimates it could be anywhere between 42 billion to 84 billion pounds.
that's a lot of money.
It's a staggering amount. And it really highlights the difference in scale compared to the Channel Tunnel, which, even adjusted for inflation, cost around 11.7 billion pounds.
So we're talking about a significant increase.
Yeah, but, it's not just about the cost, it's also about the potential benefits, right?
Of course. I mean, despite that hefty price tag, a direct rail link between Europe and Africa could have immense economic and social advantages.
I mean, think about it. Increased trade, tourism booming, richer cultural exchange, all of these could create new opportunities for businesses, for travelers, for communities on both sides.
Absolutely, and it really comes back to that initial goal of connecting these two continents more closely.
Right, and it sounds like the people who are pushing for this, the UK, France, Norway, Spain, Morocco, they are all very serious about making this vision of seamless continental access a reality.
It's interesting to think about the level of international cooperation that something like this would require.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, for a project of this scale to even be feasible, you would need sustained and effective collaboration between all of these nations.
Yeah, it'd be a huge undertaking, but, the fact that they're even considering it.
It shows you how much the world is changing.
Yeah, and how important innovation in infrastructure is becoming.
Exactly.
So while we might not be hopping on a train from Paris to Marrakech anytime soon,
Not next week, no.
the initial steps are being taken, and who knows, maybe someday, this subsea tunnel could actually become a reality,
Hmm.
a symbol of international unity, and a truly transformative link between two continents.
It's really quite remarkable.
So to sum up, today we've really delved into this bold proposal for a subsea tunnel connecting Europe and Africa, an idea driven by the ambition for dramatically better connectivity.
It's a huge undertaking.
It is. We talked about the immense engineering challenges,
Hmm.
especially the depth of that Strait of Gibraltar, and of course, the massive financial hurdle, that multi-billion-pound price tag.
It's mind-boggling.
But we also explored the potential game-changing benefits for trade, tourism, and cultural exchange between these two continents.
It's not just about making travel easier.
Right, it's much bigger than that. And, what I find most fascinating is the sheer audacity of this concept. It really speaks to a bold vision for the future of international infrastructure and how it could potentially reshape the relationship between Europe and Africa in ways we can't even fully imagine yet.
It's pretty exciting.
It is. It really makes you think. Beyond just, the convenience of quicker travel, what other kinds of cultural and economic shifts might a connection like this set in motion? Is it worth the massive investment? What would the long-term implications be for both continents?
A lot to ponder.
A lot to ponder indeed.
Definitely.